Yeah, it being an easy drinker, you can have it any time of the year.
Today we're going to be trying a Helles from Göller in Franconia, northern Bavaria. This is a lighter beer on the color scale. It's still going to have some good body. We got this out of ancient craft imports from out of Kansas. Cheers.
So cheers. Yeah, it's a really light one. It's got a lot of very small bubbles. Yeah, almost reminiscent of champagne.
Definitely, yeah.
It's got a good light, sweet smell, almost like a corn. It lands sweet and almost not quite citrus, but fruity. And it lands sweet, but not cloying, not like syrupy sweet, you know?
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's got that great, just like golden malt flavor and sweetness, kind of like a lager, but it feels like it's stronger than a lager. It feels like double strength lager.
I wouldn't call it a sweet beer. I think it's got a lot of that fruit, but it doesn't really strike you as a sweet forward drink.
Right.
It's a more subtle kind of taste.
Yeah, actually, when I think of it, most I'd say ambers that I've had. This is almost like a really light amber as far as when I think of the taste with the malts. And again, still avoiding that syrupy sweetness though that some ambers can have. But yeah, the color being very light.
Yeah, and definitely the feel is of something very, very light.
But it does feel creamy. Like as you drink it, it's kind of coats the tongue.
Definitely. It has a really refreshing finish though. It doesn't linger with anything that kind of like sticks in your mouth like an IPA. It's an easy drinker.
Oh yeah, yeah, especially with the meal. But even I think seasonal, and I think beers, and this right here, because it's lighter in body, and smell, but also its flavor, its taste. This is a year-round beer, I would say. But even including that, makes me think of an amber. It's raining outside right now, and this is like still tardy and warm, as I would describe it.
Yeah, light and warm would be a great description.
Yeah, it's like fresh baked bread.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Fresh baked bread with butter and honey. And it's good, and it's not hoppy, but there is a little bit of that just sort of evening hop bitterness. It's not even bitterness. It's just sort of a drying agent almost.
Right. And it's not till, again, you smell it, and again, I think of the lager. That might be part of what you're talking about as well too. That's like bitterness. But I think that lends itself at the finish as well. You have it's really clean, it seems like, right?
Yeah, it finishes super clean. Maybe a little bit of like that residual sort of dry yeast taste, almost like it's kind of like a dry pilsner. It leaves a little bit of that creamy flavor. There's a little bit of that body, and just a tiny bit of that bitterness, but it leaves your palate pretty clean. Honestly, I almost say this is like it almost reminds me of like a dry cheese flavor, you know? Maybe it's the yeast, but it's sort of like a dry Romano or something, or like a really mild Parmesan.
No, I think that's what I was thinking when you said dry cheese, but yeah. When I think of clean, again, going back to the yeast, I really like that about this beer is that unlike say a Belgian, right, where the yeast is pretty strong, you're gonna notice it in there. You notice it in here, but it's so slight. Again, like the hops.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it is about it, but they've perhaps in the brewing process, whatever they have, everything is almost, I want to say, perfectly balanced, because you still have that malt, which makes it really hard anymore. But it's a really well balanced beer.
This Helles, I love. It's so drinkable. It's so pleasant. It just puts a smile on your face. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It's got a good balance. It's just, you could drink it any day, every day. You could drink it for a special occasion. You could drink it for breakfast. You could drink it for dinner. You could have it after work. I love this beer.
About during work.
During work, yeah.
Pending company
Right.
policies.
So
What if you work from home?
now, but it's sort of deceptively simple because it's so, it doesn't have complex complex hop profile or some curious concoction of different malts or a strange obscure yeast. It's just, it is such a solid beer.
Yeah.
So I want to rate it maybe higher than you would expect. I think I would put it probably like a 4.5. It's so easy. It's so good. Yeah, I'll put it around 4.5.
Yeah, no, that's, man, I agree 100% on that. And that's my rating for it as well. It would be a 4.5, and it's based on the fact that, yeah, it being an easy drinker, you can have it any time of the year.
I really liked it too. Very easy going. I'm gonna go with 4.6, just because I like the brightness. I also am a bit of a malt guy myself, so I really like those malty beers. But it's not overpowering like a lot of the malt forward beers end up being in America. So 4.6.